Imagine driving into a forest where the road behind you vanishes, the trees whisper your name, and the only way out is to sacrifice someone you love. This isn't just a story, it's a nightmare that will stay with you forever. It all begins on a cold autumn evening. A group of 5 close friends, Daniel, Anna, Chris, Emily and Mark, were returning from a weekend trip in the countryside. Their car's headlights cut through the misty darkness as they laughed, sang, and shared stories. Everything felt normal until their GPS suddenly froze, showing only a vast patch of green, a pine forest ahead. Thinking it was just a shortcut, they drove into the woods. But as soon as the car entered, the world outside seemed to change. The sound of crickets, the singing of night birds, all of it vanished. Only the endless whisper of the pine trees remained. It was as if the forest had swallowed every other sound. Minutes turned to hours, yet the road stretched endlessly. Suddenly, the car's engine coughed, sputtered, and died. They stepped out, confused, only to find the road behind them gone. It wasn't there anymore. The asphalt had melted into soil, covered with pine needles. No way back, no way forward. Just towering trees in every direction. Fear crept into their hearts, but Daniel tried to stay calm. He held Anna's trembling hand and said softly, "We'll find a way. Just trust me." His words gave her courage, but deep inside, even he felt the forest pressing against them, like invisible eyes watching. They decided to walk. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. Paths twisted, leading them in circles. Familiar trees appeared again and again, as if the forest was reshaping itself around them. Their laughter faded into arguments, and arguments turned into silence. Then as rain began to pour, they stumbled upon a lonely cabin hidden among the trees. Its wooden walls were broken, its windows shattered, but faint candlelight flickered inside. Against their fear, they stepped in. Inside, the cabin felt alive. Photographs lay scattered on the floor, old family pictures, black and white portraits, faded snapshots of smiling couples. But one detail froze their blood. Some faces in the photos looked exactly like them. Anna picked up a picture of a girl who was her mirror image, standing beneath the very same pine trees. She dropped it in horror, her voice shaking. "This can't be real." The cabin grew colder, shadows stretching unnaturally across the walls. Daniel wrapped his arms around her, whispering, "Don't look. It's just this place playing tricks on us." Yet even he couldn't hide his unease. The forest wasn't just watching them, it seemed to remember them. As night fell, scratching noises echoed outside. Footsteps circled the cabin. Shadows passed the windows, though no human figure was visible. The group huddled together, terrified. Emily whispered, "Someone's out there." But Mark shook his head. "No, it's not someone. It's something." Then, without warning, the cabin's door creaked open. The storm outside raged louder, the trees bending unnaturally in the wind, almost like they were bowing. A deep, hollow voice seemed to rise from the forest itself, calling Anna's name. Daniel tightened his grip on her hand. "Don't listen," he begged. But Anna's eyes filled with tears. Something inside her felt drawn to that voice, as if the forest had always been a part of her. The group argued whether to stay inside or step out. In fear, Mark insisted they leave, while Emily cried, begging to stay hidden. But the decision was made for them. A shadow entered the cabin, not through the door, but through the walls themselves. Its form was tall and thin, made of swirling smoke with glowing eyes that reflected the candlelight. The friend screamed. Daniel shielded Anna behind him, whispering desperately, "Run when I tell you." But the shadow didn't attack. Instead, it pointed toward the forest. Its meaning was clear. They had to follow. Terrified yet trapped, they stepped out into the storm. The forest paths opened before them, guiding them like a maze towards something. Every step was heavy, every tree seemed to lean closer, whispering secrets. Anna's heartbeat thundered in her ears, yet through the fear, Daniel's hand holding hers gave her courage. Hours passed until they reached a clearing. In the center stood a massive, ancient pine, its roots twisting into the earth like claws. At its base, dozens of graves lay hidden beneath fallen leaves. The group froze in horror when they saw the headstones, each one carved with names. And shockingly, some of the names were their own. Anna dropped to her knees, tears streaming down her face. The forest hadn't just trapped them, it had chosen them. Their lives were already written into its soil. Daniel knelt beside her, lifting her chin gently. His eyes burned with both fear and love. "Listen to me," he whispered. "I don't care what this place is, or what it wants. As long as I breathe, you're not leaving me. Do you understand? I'll fight this whole forest if I have to." For a moment, his words lit a fire in her heart. But the ground beneath them trembled. The ancient pine groaned like a living creature, and roots began to rise from the soil, curling toward them. Chris shouted, swinging a branch to break the roots, while Mark tried to drag Emily away. Chaos erupted in the clearing. The shadow appeared again, towering over them. But instead of attacking, it raised one hand toward the sky. Instantly, the storm stopped. The forest fell silent. And in that silence, a truth revealed itself. The forest fed on fear, love, and memories. It was not just a place. It was alive, ancient, eternal. Anna realized something terrible. If they wanted to leave, one of them had to stay. The forest demanded a soul to keep it satisfied. Her eyes filled with sorrow as she looked at Daniel. He shook his head immediately, holding her tighter. "Don't you dare think about it. If anyone stays, it's me." "No," she cried, pressing her forehead to his. "If you go, I die anyway. My heart doesn't beat without you." Their lips met in a trembling kiss, one filled with both desperation and endless love. Around them the forest pulsed, as if drinking their emotions like nectar. Then silence again. The shadow lowered its hand, and slowly, the path out of the forest revealed itself. For reasons unknown, the forest had spared them. Maybe it was their love, maybe it was their courage, but it let them go. By dawn they stumbled out of the trees, collapsing on the roadside. Behind them, the pine forest stood still, quiet, almost ordinary again. But deep inside, they knew the truth. The forest never forgets. One day, it might call them back. And yet, despite the horror, Anna and Daniel walked forward, hand in hand, stronger than ever. Because sometimes, love is the only thing powerful enough to face the darkness and survive it. The pine forest let them go, but not everyone is that lucky. What if you entered a place that never forgets a soul? If you felt the suspense, then hit subscribe right now, because the next story might be even darker, and you won't want to miss it.